Welcome, ladies and gents. Del Toro was going to direct a Star Wars? Wow. We've kind of known about this for a while. The take-home from these new revelations, ladies and gents, is that the story that James Mangold, his movie, you know, the 25,000 years before everything, yeah, that's not his idea. That was this idea. That's what's actually being gleaned from this. So another massive L for Star Wars. Fascinating stuff, quite frankly. Yeah, genuinely interesting. So hit subscribe if you're new here. This dropped yesterday. I talked about it on my podcast, The Hcast. You can find the second channel linked down below, and there will be clips from that episode going out maybe today. I've had a busy day, unfortunately. So you don't want to hear about that. Let's move on to a bit of Del Toro stuff, shall we, ladies and gents? So, like I say, this has been known for a little while, but the take-home, like I said, the take-home is the fact that the story James Mangold is going to be doing is just a reworked, reshaped, it was never his actual idea, basically. So, in a 2017 interview with Collider, he said the following. In 2006, Mike Fleming at Deadline wrote an article that said, Del Toro is busy until 2012, and he published 20 things I was maybe doing. Since then, I haven't been able to live down that. Every time I say good morning, somebody says, Guillermo is doing good morning. So I will not comment on this. I look like a kook. Neil Gaiman once said, I would like to write Doctor Strange with Guillermo. Then all of a sudden, in IMDb, I had Doctor Strange listed. I will say, there's some characters that are great, and I have talked to Kathleen Kennedy and John Knoll about ideas. So that was way back when. 2017, 6 years ago. And then it comes out, David S. Goyer, writer, revealed he actually penned that movie, basically. He was the one that penned it. So he said he penned an unproduced Star Wars movie that Guillermo del Toro was going to direct, while chatting to the Happy, Sad, Confused podcast. And while he didn't provide any details, Del Toro did share the following response. He did kind of reveal some details, actually. But he said this. He said, true, can't say much. Maybe 2 letters, J and BB. Is that 3 letters? I don't actually understand what he's referring to when he said that, just as an FYI. And I've looked, and there's nothing which makes a lot of sense. Basically, it literally makes no sense. But he also followed up and says, by the way, this is many, many moons ago, about 6 years ago. But I'm looking, I don't know what it was. The J and BB? No idea. Now they say this, what could those letters represent? Well, J might possibly stand for Jedi, BB. Yeah, people are like, oh, BB-8. No, it's not going to be. Not going to be BB-8 at all. Not even remotely. However, like I say, this is not the be-all and end-all of this story. Because, ladies and gents, like I said, the take-home is actually the story James Mangold was going to direct. Is the same bloody story. So, not many people have picked up on this, and it goes to show, I don't know, a certain level of incompetence. I think, personally, obviously I'm going to tout my own horn, aren't I? But here it is. So he said, look, I wrote the unproduced Star Wars movie that Del Toro was going to direct. That was about 4 years ago. Goyer also revealed he wrote a Jedi Origins script as well. And then I also wrote an unproduced, I have a scriptment, it's like a script treatment, for an Origins of the Jedi movie. Also for Star Wars that I wrote for them. It took place, sorry, what was that? 25,000 years before? Sorry, what? 25,000? Oh. So that would have been, I got to do that Vader Immortal VR thing, but dabbling in Star Wars would have been fun for me. 25,000? I think we've heard that before, haven't we? So when asked why Del Toro movie was not greenlit, Goyer said there was just a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff going on over at Lucasfilm. When is there not behind-the-scenes stuff going on over at Lucasfilm? Seriously. Yeah, I don't know whether this article might have had some information on that James Mangold thing. Yeah. So, James Mangold will take audiences deep into the past, telling the tale of the first Jedi. There you go. I know. I remembered one article had picked up on it. So Mangold would provide further details. So this is when he just lies through his teeth. So when I mentioned to Kathy the idea that I had about going backwards, really far backward, I was surprised that it excited her and the wonderful people she works with at Lucasfilm. Yeah, bollocks, mate. Bollocks. You're talking. You lie. For me, it's about I want to be part of the saga, but I also don't want to be holding so much lore in the air that you can hardly tell a story. And what I really wanted to do, what I told her, was, well, I don't know what this voice is, was just, can we make a kind of the 10 Commandments of the Force? You know, a kind of origin story of how the Force came to be known, understood, wielded and harnessed. Well, riddle me this, mofo. Riddle me this. Doesn't look like you came up with that idea, does it now, huh? Right, a few things. Obviously, James Mangold, I don't know what he's got to gain from lying from all of this, but clearly he is a liar. And that's disappointing. He didn't come up with that idea at all. So, you know, boo on him. For lying, anyway. Secondly, Del Toro in the Star Wars universe could have been fantastic, actually, only if you'd given him something, I don't know, maybe set in the past, where it's not connected to anything, and you just said, go do it. Why do I say this? Well, look, Del Toro's practical effects work are second to none. They are astoundingly good, and if you were to compare like the likes of Hellboy, for instance, to elements in the Cantina on Tatooine, that would have looked great. That would have, is it Cantina? Yeah, it is. That would look great. Would look absolutely epic. Brilliant stuff. He nails all of that work. The VFX that he does, the practical VFX, so good. But you'd have to have given him something where, you know, Kathleen Kennedy and the other producers weren't meddling. Because Del Toro is a creative force. You just leave it with him. Just get on with it. Let him deal with it. You don't oversight him, which is what obviously Kathleen Kennedy would do. So, look, is it an L for Star Wars? Well, it's an L from multiple levels because James Mangold has now been proven to be an utter liar again, for God's sake. And Del Toro, you know, we missed out on a Del Toro movie, but that's also kind of a win because, like I said, you know, would they have actually given it to him properly? No, not really. I can't imagine they'd have said, look, Del Toro, here, just fill your boots, mate. Go on. That's why no one big realistically works with Lucasfilm at this point in time. There's no auteurs anyway, that's for sure. And, you know, I don't know, Del Toro would have been a massive get. But the funniest thing, like I said, is just that this James Mangold situation came out of nowhere. He was just absolute Billy BS in the whole time. Which is disappointing, because James Mangold makes some bloody good movies sometimes. Sometimes. So let me know what you think down below. Cheers, guys. Take care. Bye-bye now.